I call the Sweetwater County School District Number 1 Board of Trustees to order this regular board meeting. Welcome to everyone that's here. Hopefully everyone had a wonderful break, and it's 8th of January and we are now back in session. So Happy New Year to everyone. I have a special welcome to Kai Grubb here from Black Butte High School. She is a junior, so she's joining us on the board today. So thank you, Kai, for being here. If you would stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll now proceed with recognition.
Good evening, Superintendent McGovern and members of the board. Chair Jellicoe, if you would please join us down front for recognition.
Please join us.
First, we would like to recognize Kai Grubb. She is our student representative from Black Butte High School. We would like to thank Kai for joining the Board of Trustees this evening and sharing a fresh student perspective. Kai's attendance sends a positive message to all of the student body to become involved in a respectful way. Our students are capable of great things. Civic engagement is one of those things. Thank you, Kai. If you want to come on over, and then Mr. Blake. You might as well just stay up there. It's okay. The marketing class at Black Butte High School recently implemented a school store to encourage positive behavior and support for students. The student body earns Bear Bucks for being safe, respectful, responsible, and kind. Similar to other schools that have a school store, students can take their Bear Bucks and spend them at the school store. In addition to their teacher, Mr. Rick Baker, students in the marketing class run the school store. Students learn the principles of marketing such as product, price, place, and promotion from the ground up. We would like to acknowledge the contributions of Mr. Baker and his students and the positive impact this process has made on the culture of Black Butte High School. Mr. Rick Baker, you first. Adrian Barnes. True Ann Berg. Annalyn Carino Hernandez. Mariah Gadina Alvarado. Audrey Jackson. Christian Justice. Ashlyn Majko. Jared Rasmussen. Justin Smith, and Kata Stanton. Oh, and Trip Baker. Trip. I saw you. I'm like, I know I read his name earlier. Sorry, kiddo. Congratulations.
All right, guys, ready? 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Good job, guys.
Thank you.
She's giving some. Sorry.
You're good. Don't apologize to me. This evening, we continue the new tradition of honoring employees as they reach milestones for their service within Sweetwater District Number 1. Tonight, we would like to recognize these employees that have completed 15 years of current service. Many of our staff have served in various schools or departments over the years, so this evening, we will mention their current role, and employees will be called up by the school or department with their administrator or administrators or directors. So we want to thank the following employees. Black Butte High School, Deborah Burback, special education teacher. She was unable to make it this evening, so we'll make sure we deliver hers. Central Administration Building, Rita Isaacson, Title I bookkeeper. Yes, please. If I could have Ms. Carter and Ms. Gardner up here, please. Next, Eastside Elementary, Sandy Liniger, 6th grade teacher, and Tanya Vessels, 6th grade teacher. If Dr. Wells and Ms. Searle will please come up. What?
Ready? 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Good job, thank you.
Farson Eden School, we would like to recognize Wendy Keeler, 1st grade teacher, Anna Smith, paraprofessional, and Jacob Summers, math teacher. They're unable to make it tonight, so we will give them to Ms. Rosanico. Thank you. North Park, Sean Grube, the principal. And Maggie Coletti, special education teacher. Sean. Overland Elementary Early Childhood Education Program, Erin Worthington, preschool teacher. And if Miss Ellison would join us, please. Pilot Butte Elementary, Karen Maddox, fourth grade teacher. Julie Wilmetti, EL teacher. And if we could have Mr. Marcy and Miss Otter on up here too, thanks. Congratulations, Julie. Next, Rock Springs Junior High, Janae Cholak, science teacher. And if I could have Mr. Urban, Mr. Woodward, and Mr. Lott join us up front. Next, Rock Springs High School, Kristen Gassaway, foreign language teacher. Robert Wilmetti, math teacher. And if I could also have Mr. Supis, Miss Downs Lewis, Mr. Boland, Mr. Akers, and Mr. Stratka up to join us.
I'm really sort of nervous to see you now. That's a big step.
Sage Elementary, Amanda Buell, second grade. And if Ms. Mickelson and Mr. Schenkel could join us up front. Transportation Department, Michael Reed, mechanic, and Amanda Vincent, coordinator. If Mr. Klingenpill and Ms. Knezovich could join us. Oh, okay. Walnut Elementary, Nanette McCurdy, second grade. And if Ms. Supas could join us up front, please. And that concludes public recognition for this evening.
I noticed that, so I'm not going to worry about that. Yeah. Ms. Murray, if we could proceed with roll call, please.
Mrs. Cochran,
Here.
Mrs. Schumacher,
Here.
Mrs. Summers. Here. Mrs. Thompson. Here. Mrs. Wood. Here. Mr. Wright.
Here.
Chair Jellicoe.
Present. We do have a quorum. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
It's been moved by Mrs. Summers. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Wood. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed by the same sign. Motion passes. I'll now entertain a motion to suspend the board meeting and open the public hearing.
So moved.
It's been moved by Mrs. Wood. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Summers. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed by the same sign. Motion passes. We are now in a public hearing. Ms. Carter.
Good evening, Chair Jellicoe, Board of Trustees, and Superintendent McGovern. The purpose of the public hearing tonight is to review a budget amendment and with the following grants. That includes the Y-Built Literacy Grant Year 1, Y-Built Literacy Grant Year 2, and the ARP ESSER 3. For the Y-Built Literacy Grant Year 1, it is to reclassify funds to adjust for salaries and benefits. The Y-Built Literacy Grant for Year 2 is to reclassify funds to adjust the budget for the preschool activities. ARP ESSER 3 is a reclassification of funds for the Workforce Stabilization Incentive, which will pay out January 25th, 2004. The gross amount will be based on $1,000 plus an additional amount of $159 for each year of service as noted by the employee's most recent first day of work for their permanent position. August 25th, 2023 is the date used to determine years of service for the incentive. The workforce stabilization incentive is also subject to required payroll taxes, federal income tax withholding. I would also like the board to know that an email went out to the district today regarding the payout amounts prior to the board meeting to help address questions that were being asked by district staff. I would also like to clarify that the January 25th, 2004 incentive is the first workforce stabilization incentive payout for this year. The district will be providing a second workforce stabilization incentive in June of 2004. The second incentive was approved by the board in December 11th of 2023, and the amount to be paid out for that second incentive is yet to be determined. If you would also, part of the public hearing is the itemized analysis of all the ESSER funds. And if you can pull that up, thank you. I just want to, it's at the bottom. I would like to note that one of the changes that you will see on the spreadsheet is that I have gone through and highlighted in kind of a light red all the grants that are what we are calling closed or have ended and have zero funds. It will help read through where we are with grants that are still open related to the ESSER funds. Are there any questions?
Any questions?
Okay,
Doesn't
thank
appear
you.
to be. Thank you. Okay, we have received no written public comment regarding the public hearing. Is there any in-person public comment regarding to the amendment to the 23-24 budget? Any in-person public comment? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing and reconvene the board meeting. Moved by Mrs. Thompson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Wood. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed by the same sign. Motion passes. Item number 7 is an update on the hiring of the new superintendent of schools. I will tell you that I communicated with Mr. Farmer today from the Wyoming School Boards Association, and he sent me this text. I can tell you that there is interest and we expect to have several applications. However, I can also tell you that we expect pools to be very small. Another district has a very small pool and they do candidate selection this week. We expect that they will have a good hire and will have more than one candidate who could be good, just small pools. So we still have until the end of the month is up for our application process. So we still have 3 weeks or so. But my question to him was, could he share if there was any interest? So there has been interest, and that's a good sign. I will remind you of the 2 dates that we have coming up. These will be special board meetings on January 25th. The process meeting, that's at 5 o'clock, and that will be in this room. That is an open meeting. Well, they're both start out as open meetings, but that one, the process meeting, will be a discussion with WSBA as far as the process that we will be using, including the kind of committees that we'll be using and so forth as we get to the interview process. On February 6th, that will be the candidate review and selection process. So a majority of that meeting will be in executive session. It too starts at 5 o'clock. So I hope all the trustees have those two dates on your calendars. Further discussion? Any other questions? Okay, then we'll move on to the climate survey updates. Item 8A, the Wyoming School Boards Association Climate Survey, the board committee updates, the board subcommittee update. Who'd like to take that? Mrs. Thompson?
Madam Chair, so the subcommittee with Mrs. Summers and Mrs. Schumacher and myself, we met and went through every single question. We did make some changes, and we also did some of the just minor word changes. And we did add, I want to say at least 5 or 6 questions to each section, just so we felt that we could cover everything that we felt needed to be covered. And so we're presenting that to the board to see if you had any other questions you wanted to add, or if there were any wordsmithing you wanted to do. If not, we would like to get this back to WSBA so we can get that sent out. I will reach out to Julie Kursarick after the meeting if the board is fine with this document, and then we will move forward that way. As far as that, we will push it out on Parent Square, the website, our social media page, and we'll also reach out to the chamber to send it out to their business members so they can take that survey as well. And I will need to reach out with partners in that area to get that done. Would you like to add anything, Andrea or Danielle?
Mrs. Summers?
I just want to say that when we went through these questions, we were looking largely at, did we have questions that addressed areas for the upcoming strategic plan, and then areas where we think our community has expressed some concern about the direction of the school district. So hoping that, we at least have enough questions to address those main topics or issues.
Mrs. Schumacher, do you have anything to add?
Nothing to add. I agree with what has already been stated, and I think that it's a good survey that we should be able to get some good feedback from and hopefully make some progress and some change.
Thank you. Further discussion? So do we need a motion to proceed with this? Is that what you're looking for?
Madam Chair, I think that would be in the best interest of the district to make sure that we have a motion and a second and approval on this.
Okay. So is there a motion to approve the Wyoming School Boards Association Climate Survey? It's been moved by Mr. Wright. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Summers. Further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed by the same sign. Motion passes. So you have the go-ahead to proceed with that. Thank you. Item B, the Upbeat Climate Survey. Okay, Nicole?
The window for the climate survey closed at the end of the day on December 22nd. We ended up having a very high participation rate. We had 95% of our teachers participate, 84% of our non-instructional staff participate, and 85% of our department staff participate. Ms. McGovern, Ms. Gunter, and myself will start the meetings on January 16th with Upbeat, and then from there, they will go ahead and schedule with each of the directors and the principals from there to review results and action plans that have been in place, what's worked, what's not worked, and set some new steps or continue what is working. Are there any questions?
Any questions?
Madam Chair,
Mrs. Thompson?
will we be receiving all of those surveys like we have in the past to review?
Yes, you guys will receive all of the surveys, and then they will also do a presentation to the board again like they did in the spring.
Further discussion? We'll look forward to those. I'm very pleased to see the high participation rates.
Yes.
That's encouraging.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Item number 9, communications and correspondence or the public comment. If a member of the public initiates specific complaints or charges against an employee in order to protect the employee's rights to privacy and due process, the board will only hear those complaints or charges in closed session. The board encourages concerned individuals to file complaints using the appropriate district complaint procedure and appropriate forms, which can be obtained from the district's website. As per policies B, DDH, and KD, please limit your comments to the board to one time. If your comments have been previously submitted in writing, please refrain from addressing the board a second time. Written comments will be posted to the agenda in the written public comment section below. Written public comments must be received by 1:00 p.m. on the day of the board meeting and will be available for the public and trustees to view, but will not be read aloud at the board meeting. Policies B, DDH, and KD continue to state, questions asked by the public shall, when possible, be answered immediately by the chairman or referred to staff members present for reply. Questions requiring investigation shall be referred to the board or administrative staff for consideration and later response. We have received no written public comments, so is there any in-person public comments?
Good evening. My name is Natalie Powell. I'm the co-chair of the parent involvement team, here with our monthly update. At the December board meeting, we presented 5-year trends on graduation data and how 3 subgroups of students are impacted. We shared how Rock Springs High School is graduating more female students than male students and asked for a discussion on how to better support male students starting this year. We also shared how lunch-eligible students and students on IEPs graduate at much lower rates than their peers. We believe we can affect change starting this year. All data, including graphs, were shared with each board member via email, as was the data we collected from parents and community members regarding what qualities we seek in the search for a new superintendent. As a committee that was sought out and formed at the request of the school district and your consultants to help drive change and serve as a collective voice for the parents of Rock Springs High School, we are disappointed that we received no response. As the parent involvement team, we are trying to help generate positive change, which starts with the right people being willing to engage in productive conversations. When we volunteered to be a part of and essentially develop the team from the ground up, it was said that this team would play a valuable role in helping to shape the direction and future of the high school. Many concerned parents and teachers have reached out with ideas, questions, and suggestions, and it is our duty to ensure that they don't fall flat. Improving the culture and academic success at Rock Springs High School will require all of us to work together to affect real change. As always, we can be reached at rshspit307@gmail.com. Thank you.
Thank you. Further public comment?
Janae Cholak, teacher, Rock Springs Junior High. I just wanted to take a moment and thank you for recognizing the 15 years of service teachers. When I started in this district, there were dozens upon dozens upon dozens who started at the same time I did. And I think we have barely over a dozen who were able to be honored tonight. When I went to school in this district, the teachers that taught me were still teaching when I became a teacher here. And that was my second career as a person becoming a teacher. And so I just wanted to say teaching is a terribly difficult job, and I appreciate your acknowledgement of our years of service. And I wanted to point out these great gentlemen in the back, my leadership team from my building, Mr. Urban, Mr. Woodward, and Mr. Lott, and acknowledge Sean Grube and Chris Kundle and the amazing leadership they showed in our building. I don't think I'd still be a teacher without these people. So thank them very much, and thank you.
Thank you. Further public comment?
Good evening, Chair Jellicoe, members of the board, Superintendent McGovern, Glenn Supas, principal at Rock Springs High School, and I have our monthly list of events. It seems like we came back from Christmas break and it's 2 pages. So we have quite the busy month coming up in January. Lots of home events. We would love to have all of you come and attend one of our events. free of charge. There will be no charge for a school board member to come and watch one of our events. We'd love to have you there. Plus, we will be hosting the Sadie Hawkins Valentine's Day dance, and all of you are always invited to come and chaperone. Don't waste your one time on this one dance, because I will need chaperones for prom as well. But we would love to have you. We would love to have you. Other than that, we've got lots of home events, and tomorrow night we have home basketball against Evanston. So it'll be a packed house, and so it begins. So with your permission, I'd like to approach and hand out the calendar events. And if you have any questions, I stand ready to answer them. So thank you.
Any questions? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Further public comment? Further public comment? Further public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on to the treasurer's reports. Mrs. Summers.
For the general fund treasurer's report, month of December 2023, the beginning balance was $7,430,425.94. Revenues received during the month totaled $10,031,876.67. Interbank transfers in totaled $7,850,000, and intra-bank transfers in totaled $507,226.33. Less the warrants written during the month of $8,191,934.06. And voided checks of $4,582.66. There was an ending cash balance of $9,782,177.54. For the treasurer's report for the school lunch program, December 2023, the beginning balance was $625,736.50. Interest received during the month was $2,396.15. Revenue received during the month was $65,423.66. The CACFP reimbursement totaled $10,197.75. The federal reimbursement totaled $108,869.22. And the FFVP grant reimbursement totaled $3,255.81. Warrants written during the month were $0, and there was an ending balance of $812,623.28. For the Head Start program treasurer's report, the beginning balance was $100,057.37. Deposits totaled $252,913.47. Warrants cleared were $0, and the ending balance was $352,970.84. That concludes the treasurer's report.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
It's been moved by Mr. Wright. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Thompson. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed by the same sign. Motion passes. Let's move on to the warrants.
The warrants, checks number 164599 through 165008 totaled the amount of $3,764,146.20. The net payroll number is 129435 to 129452 in the amount of $20,965.24. Numbers 792168 to 793578 totaled the amount of $3,153,381.92. Check number 3858196 totaled $950,000. Checks number 3852272, number 3858046, number 3861454, and number 3866771 transferred to the general fund totaled $5,900,000. And that concludes warrants.
Is there a motion to approve the district warrants and approve their release?
So moved.
It's been moved by Mrs. Thompson. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Wright. I want to declare a conflict on warrant number 00164,956. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed by the same sign. Motion passes. Consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are matters about which the board has governing policies, implementation of which is delegated to the superintendent. They will be enacted in one motion in the order listed below. There will be no discussion of these items prior to the time the Board of Trustees votes on the motion, unless members of the board request specific items to be held and discussed separately and/or removed from the section. Motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. A, approval of the minutes from the December 11th, 2023 board workshop. B, approval of the minutes from the December 11th, 2023 regular meeting. C, curriculum, approval of the purchase of CTE items. D, finance, approval of the resolution to amend the 2023-2024 budget. E, finance, approval of the official bond and oath for the school district treasurer. F, human resources, approval of personnel recommendations. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
It's been moved by Mrs. Summers. Is there a second? Second by Mrs. Thompson. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed by the same sign. Motion passes. General board business, item number 13, approval of policy EFB, unpaid meal balance. Is there a motion?
So moved.
It's been moved by Mrs. Summers. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Wright. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed by the same sign. Motion passes. Item number 14, the 2024-2029 to 2029 strategic plan. Board information and on the proposed plan. First of all, we had a conversation during the workshop regarding the letter that is going to be part of the strategic plan. We had a subcommittee working on that. What is the update on that letter?
Madam Chair,
Mrs. Thompson.
the subcommittee has not had a chance to meet yet. However, we are planning to get something nailed down after the meeting tonight.
Okay. So just so that we're clear, we're going to probably have that ready for next month. That was our plan, was it not? Okay. And so with regard to the Parent Square going out to families and the community regarding input on the strategic plan, my understanding is that we wanted to send that out so we'd have that input for next month as well. Is that your recollections as well?
It is mine, Madam Chair.
Okay, so we're all in agreement that that's the plan. We'll have Superintendent McGovern send that out to all the parties involved so that we get that input and we can start working on the finalizing the strategic plan. Okay, just wanted to clarify that information. Any other Any other comments regarding the proposed strategic plan? Superintendent, do you have everything that you need for that now?
Thank you.
Okay. All right, moving on to item number 15, good of the order. Anyone with anything to share for good of the order?
Madam Chair.
Mrs. Thompson?
I just wanted to really encourage parents and secondary students as well as community members to please take that survey when we send it out. The whole reason we're doing it is to gauge the pulse of the community and the schools. And if people aren't taking it, we're not going to get a very good determination of what's really going on. So if you could please find some time, we try to keep it as short as possible just so it wouldn't be time consuming and hopefully get some more people to take it that way. But I please implore you to take that once we send that out. Thank you.
Further good of the order? I just want to remind the trustees that of the School Boards Association winter training, one is available this Saturday, the 13th in Riverton, and the second one is available in Casper on the 20th, so the 13th and the 20th. If you are interested in attending either one of those, please see Miss Murray, and she will make the necessary arrangements and the travel voucher and stuff like that. Any further good of the order? Please.
Thank you, Chair Jellicoe. Just a quick note to say thank you to our administrators and our directors, our assistant directors. We know that the new tradition of trying to recognize our employees as they reach those milestones in their career, they attend those meetings because they feel it's very important to be here with their staff member, and they do so very graciously. And I just wanted to extend a thank you to them for coming out each and every month to acknowledge their staff.
I would ditto that very much so. We appreciate them being here to help with that, honoring that. We hope that that's a tradition that will continue in the district as the upcoming years take place. Any other good of the order? Okay, moving on to item number 16, new business. You have the board committee assignments there. Thank you to all of you that got that information to me in a timely fashion. B is board information policy EFB-R, the unpaid meal balances. The vacancy notice has been updated as of today, January 8th. And D is the December 2023 Head Start Governing Board and Policy Council monthly report. So those are there for your information. I now entertain a motion to go into executive session for the discussion of legal and personnel matters. Is there a motion? It's been moved by Mrs. Summers. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Wright. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed by the same sign. Motion passes. We are now in executive session. Again, that is for the discussion of legal and personnel matters. I do not anticipate any action upon our return. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to return to the regular meeting. It's been moved by Mrs. Summers. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Wood. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed by the same sign. Motion passes. I now entertain a motion to adjourn. It's been moved by Mrs. Thompson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Summers. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed by the same sign. Motion passes. We are adjourned.